You know how some people's ideas just flow? They sound so clear, so confident, and honestly, really persuasive? Well, the secret often isn't just what they're saying, but the small, powerful words they use to connect it all together. So today, let's break down that secret ingredient.
Okay, take a look at this. Tom is rich. Jack is poor. Now, each sentence works on its own, right? But put them together like this, and they feel disconnected. They're like two separate islands with no bridge between them. There's no flow, no real story. It's just clunky.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do we build that bridge? How do we take these two separate facts and weave them into one single, much more powerful idea?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Linking words. You can think of them as the glue of our language. They take all those separate blocks of information and build them into something strong, something coherent, something that actually makes sense.
So what are they exactly? Linking words, you might also hear them called connectives or transition words, are just the words and phrases we use to connect our sentences and ideas. They're like the road signs in your writing or speaking, guiding your audience smoothly from one point to the very next.
So why is this so important? Well, it all comes down to three key things. First, they establish clear connections between your ideas. Second, they help your listener actually follow along, guiding them from one thought to the next. And finally, they build relationships between your ideas, showing how they might agree, or contrast, or even cause one another.
Okay, so let's open up the toolkit. Just like a mechanic has the perfect wrench for every single bolt, a great communicator has the right linking word for every situation. Let's take a look at the different jobs these words can do.
First up, we've got words for addition and comparison. So when you want to add another layer to your point, you can use words like furthermore or in addition. And when you want to show how two different ideas are actually alike, you can use similarly or likewise. See, it's all about building on what you've already said.
Now this is where things get really interesting. Contrast words like however and but, those are your pivot points. They let you change direction. But even more powerful are concession words like although or despite. These let you acknowledge one point while still emphasizing another, which, by the way, is the key to making a really smart, well-rounded argument.
Next up, building pure logic. Words that show cause and effect are, frankly, the bedrock of any strong argument. Because explains the why, and then words like therefore and as a result show the logical outcome. When you use these correctly, you're creating this unbreakable chain of reason.
Ever have that feeling like you're just not being clear enough? Well, this is your toolkit for that exact problem. Words like for example and for instance let you take a big abstract idea and bring it right down to earth with a real-world illustration. And phrases like in other words give you a second shot at saying something in a simpler, clearer way.
And finally, we have the words that signal the grand finale. When you use in short or to sum up, you're basically telling your audience, okay, listen up, here comes the main point. And when you say in conclusion, everybody knows you're about to land the plane. It provides closure and wraps everything up in a nice, neat bow.
All right, that's enough theory. Let's put these tools to the test. What do you say? I'm going to show you a sentence with a missing linking word, and let's see if you can find the perfect fit. You ready?
Okay, first one. Blank, he was sick, he came to work. What's the relationship here? He came to work in spite of the fact that he was sick. So which word fits that idea?
And there it is. Although, it's a word of concession. It perfectly acknowledges the sickness while highlighting the surprising fact that he came to work anyway. Nice one.
Okay, how about this one? A snowstorm has been announced. Blank, air traffic will be disrupted. What do we have going on here? It looks like a clear cause and its effect, right?
Exactly. Therefore, the announcement is the cause and the disruption is the logical result. Therefore, makes that connection absolutely crystal clear.
All right, last one. And does this look familiar? Tom is rich, blank, Jack is poor. This is the one we started with. This is our original problem. How do we finally fix it? How do we build that bridge? And there it is, whereas. Just listen to how much better that sounds. With one single word, we've gone from two choppy, separate facts to one smooth, elegant sentence that highlights a clear contrast. That is the power we've been talking about this whole time.
You see, this is about so much more than just following grammar rules. Mastering these linking words, it's like unlocking a communication superpower. It elevates literally everything you say and write.
So what does this all really mean for you? It means you become a better guide for your audience. It means you can build much stronger arguments. You get to communicate with total clarity and confidence, and you end up sounding way more persuasive and coherent.
I want to leave you with this simple but really powerful thought, which comes right from the source material. They help the reader to progress from one idea to another. At the end of the day, that's your job as a communicator, to guide people, and linking words are your absolute most essential tool for doing just that.
And just think about that for a second. Every major decision, every world-changing idea, it all boils down to a few clear, connected sentences. You now have the tools to build them, so the only question left is, what will you build with them?